Hello, welcome to Small Screen Live. I'm coming to you from a different location this week. I'm coming to you live from Switzerland. I'm a bit sick, so please do forgive the the bunged up nature of my voice. We have a full show for you guys tonight. We have James back as the producer of the show. He's been a bit sick for a few weeks there. And that's the proof that James is back. It's that sort of stuff. And we've also got Shaun waiting. We've got lots of stuff to talk to you guys about tonight. We've got Star Wars, got all the Star Wars Celebration stuff. We've got some James Gunn, potential DC Marvel crossover stuff, The Flash, Commando Creatures, Creature Commando, as well. Like some news on that show. Thrawn news, The Boys, so much more. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm not sure if we're going to get through it all, but we will try. Before we get into all of that, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Who do we have in the chat? So we've got this bloody comments again. What did you guys think of the Book of Boba Fett episode 3? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, we cannot get rid of that. I don't know why. It keeps on coming up on Facebook. No idea why. It's just going to be one of those long, like, in-jokes, I suppose. We've got that James guy saying hello there. And Sean Dickinson saying, ahoy, hoy. Hello, Shaun. Hope you're well. Who else do we have in the chat? We have Bobby saying, I've missed all of them. You've missed all of That's very kind of you, Bobby. Saying hello, Jane. Hello to James. Hello to me. Say hello. Yes, she says hello to Shaun as well. Chrysler just sends that duck emoji. So, yes, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed, please do that right now. Quack that notification bell. And we have Stay Lifted Productions in the chat saying, well, hello there. Hello, all of you. I hope you guys are doing very, very well. And let's bring everyone in. That's enough of me. I think everyone else wants to see. Yes, there we go. Here's Shaun's lovely face. How are you doing, Shaun?
Hello, I'm well. I'm back after a week north of 49. And I'm glad to see that you continue to outwit Interpol as you move from European city to European city.
They will never find me. I tell you names of countries that might not be the right one. Yeah.
I am on the street. This is James Simon Strasse. I do not know where I am.
Maybe the James Simon Museum.
Yes, I actually have been the James Simon Museum in Berlin. Yeah, it's
baby.
Very cool.
The fuel never said baby. Is that right, James?
Oh, God. You completely derailed already. Yes, Bobby's saying hello to Shaun.
I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm getting derailed. I'm still drunk from butter tarts in Canada.
Did you take any back with you?
No, they didn't make it back, buddy. It was a road trip. They barely made it to the border.
Well, you didn't buy like 2 dozen?
No. I couldn't do that in good conscience. I am really depressed that I've reached the stage of life now where I reach the border, and as you're going into Canada, they give you restaurant recommendations. And as you're going back into the United States, they say, oh, good to see you again. Please enjoy your trip home. It's no more like, are you doing anything suspicious? No, it's just, oh, you just go.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
I remember we went over the border driving towards the Arnold Schwarzenegger World Games thing. We had like 200 VHS tapes of all the footage and Act G4 and a bunch of stuff, and they kind of looked at us squarely when we went through the border. But this is 2002, right? So
yeah,
it's a bit different now. I just get like because I speak French with a French accent, they look at me a bit weirdly here. I don't think they like the French that much in Switzerland, unfortunately. So maybe I just should put on an English accent when I speak. Might make it a bit better. I don't know. They don't like the English either. So it's a loss any which way we go. But Kazakhs brings up an interesting point. Yeah, we are streaming on 2 channels at the moment. We're streaming on the Small Screen Co channel and the Small Screen Live channel. We were planning on just doing it in the future via the Small Screen Live channel. We don't know now. We're going to talk about that behind the scenes. But yeah, if you guys could subscribe wherever you are, that'd be wonderful. Right, and now that I've got all that rubbish out the way, let's talk about some stuff. Kazakh saying Bobby. I wanted to start off with what I think I suppose for me and for Small Screen was the biggest news of the week, and that was all the stuff that was announced at Star Wars Celebration. So there was a bunch of stuff, which I think Lucasfilm loves to do. They love to announce stuff that never gets made. But this time around, Kathleen Kennedy announced some rather interesting projects. Excuse me. She announced the Dave Filoni movie, Star Wars movie. She announced a James Mangold Star Wars movie. And she also announced a third Star Wars movie, which would bring back Rey from it. I wanted to know, I don't think we've actually spoken at length about Star Wars, but what did you make of all those announcements?
I think it's a business decision to try and forestall any backlash when they killed the other trilogy. It's just to try and get back to what they think are popular characters, and I'm not sure it's the right decision. I'm just like the Marvel stuff. I'm just afraid that they're putting out too much Star Wars stuff too fast, and that this just looks like more of it. I mean, do we really need to go back to the Skywalker story at this point? Isn't there? It's a long time ago in a galaxy far away, and it seems to be more about a small town far away.
Yeah,
it happened like 2,000 years before Star Trek Next Generation. Actually, 8,000 years.
So Star Wars Picard. Now that I'm waiting for.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I think the Rey movie, I was a bit puzzled by.
Yeah.
I do wonder whether a lot of it has to do with the fact that Daisy Ridley hasn't had much to do since the end of the Star Wars movies, and they thought, well, she's available, and they saw a way to bring her in and get that movie off the ground as quickly as they can, because it's been a long time since we last saw a Star Wars movie, and they keep on announcing these films and they never get made. And I do wonder whether Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, and Disney just all sat down. Kathleen Kennedy and Disney, and probably Bob Iger, all sat down and Bob Iger was probably like, "Look, you guys have just got to make a movie, because at this point it's getting ridiculous. Yeah, you've got these shows coming out to, like, the Mandalorian's been doing all right, but the Andor series did very well, critically, but most of it's been kind of very middling,
right?"
So Mandalorian this season has been great. Besides
Mandalorian, beside last week's episode, which I thought was a complete nightmare.
Why
episode.
do they have to do that?
I don't know that I'd say it's great. I'd say as far as Star Wars goes, it's pretty good.
And I think
better than season 2. I think.
Oh, what this season?
But a colonoscopy is better than season 2.
I think no, season 2 wasn't that bad, but I think like
colonoscopy's not that bad either. You sleep through it, but that doesn't mean you want to do it all the time.
I thought they like really trimmed the fat for this season until last week's episode with Jack Black. That's just me.
That was off-putting, that episode. Seeing Lizzo and Jack Black in that episode. I do love Jack Black. I have a lot of love for him, but he's off-putting in that series.
Once you see like
cameo,
like a celebrity, like I was saying before, it just takes me out of it. I'm like, oh, there's Jack Black. Okay, I'm not in Star Wars anymore. I'm watching a production of this actor on the soundstage.
Well, then it was him and Christopher Lloyd and Lizzo too. So
Lloyd, you can see. I think like when I was watching it, I was like, oh, Jack Black, and then Jon Favreau was like, it's okay, we got Christopher Lloyd, and they'll forgive us for all that.
Yeah, but he wasn't very good in it. That was my problem with Christopher Lloyd. He wasn't very good in it. I could, for the first time in a while, I could see how old Chris Lloyd has become. He's kind of like weirdly enough aged into his Back to the Future character, hasn't he? Like he's now the age that he was supposed to be.
You could almost see him counting his money between takes.
Yeah, but I mean, he was fine. He was fine, but I really felt that episode it was a bizarre kind of beeline plot
episode.
Yeah.
It was like the casino or the racehorse scene in The Last Jedi. That's what it reminded me of.
A lot of,
but I think from Star Wars Celebration, they're really putting their faith in Filoni and Favreau now. I think that was apparent, and a lot of exclusives confirmed. Edward?
Yeah, nice setting us up. Yeah, so there were two bits of news that we had. I mean, the Lars Mikkelsen one playing Thrawn, which we reported years ago. So I think January 2021. And he actually said at Star Wars Celebration that he signed the contract just almost 2 years ago. So it was right about the time that was when we were told that he signed on the dotted line. And it's it's a long wait. But the other one was the fact that Kathleen Kennedy actually confirmed that the Rian Johnson trilogy wasn't in, as she put it, active development. Now, that whole thing is another Kathleen Kennedy kind of mix-up, I think, with the fact that they announce things far too early. She does announce things far too early, and she tends to announce things that are in very, very early development, and then the problem is when they don't get made, people start to lose faith with the leadership. And it's looking to honestly, in all honesty, I don't think this Taika Waititi film is going to get made. I just have a feeling that this thing, he's writing it at the moment. And Kathleen Kennedy was like, oh, he doesn't want anyone else to look at his script. He doesn't want anyone else to work with him on the script. So we'll get it when we get it. And I just get the impression that thing's going to be put in the bin, which I think might be a bit of a shame because I do like Taika Waititi, and I don't think his whole career shouldn't be. You shouldn't look at his whole career based on Thor: Love and Thunder. I think he's made a lot of good movies. Most of his movies have been good. He made one bad movie. Don't judge him on that. But the one I'm interested in is the Mangold film. That's the one I'm really interested in because that's apparently he said he wanted to do a Bible movie where he basically sets up the Jedi, sets up how they started. And I think that sounds quite interesting. That to me sounds quite interesting.
I agree. That sets up a bigger world, and at least it's about something different than what we've seen so far. And it seems like it's to me it's the same sort of problem with Star Trek, is that we keep just revisiting the same stories over and over and over and over and over again, and it's become there's intertwining stuff is good, but if you intertwine it too much, it just becomes a mess of all. And that's what was happening. So going back to long before the Empire is a good idea.
And bringing in someone like Mangold, I've liked a lot of his. I still believe that he has made one of the best comic book movies ever made in Logan. I still think that one's the one to beat in my eyes, but that's just a personal opinion. But I think it sounds to me as though Lucasfilm is getting very friendly with him. He's just finished Indiana Jones 5. He's supposed to go and make the Swamp Thing movie, but I think he said he's writing both of them now, and he said whichever one he finishes first will be the one that goes into production first. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But I like him as a director, and I think hopefully this one will get made. The one that I think will definitely get made will be the Dave Filoni one, because he is the one that stuck around the longest, and I think this has been in the works for quite some time. It seems as though the Mandalorian and the Ahsoka series are leading up to this, and I also get the impression that some of the stuff he wanted to do in that cancelled Rangers of the New Republic series has been brought into Mandalorian season 3, and then Ahsoka happens. There'll probably be a second series of Ahsoka, and then that Dave Filoni movie will come out. It'll be an interesting experiment because basically, in order to watch this film and understand what's going on and know who the characters are, you need to have probably watched all the seasons of The Mandalorian and Ahsoka before having watched that movie. So that'll be quite interesting. I still have my reservations about Dave Filoni as a director. I think some of his stuff is a bit ropey when it's him behind the camera. But, I think he's learning. He's a fan of the Star Wars lore, and he's been there for a long, long time.
Yeah, but every director that directs The Mandalorian is like that, though. They have hit and miss. Even Bryce Dallas Howard. And, I mean, Dave Filoni's directing on the second episode of The Mandalorian. Season 1 is really good.
The show itself is so weirdly conceived that I don't know how you could not do hit and miss episodes. The premise of it is so weird. It seems like it was meant to go, we're going to do one season of this, and then
and it's a relatively new filming production too. Technique, and the volume.
Yeah,
and I think going back to what you said about Kathleen Kennedy, Edward, I think that the big takeaway there, she said it's up to Rian Johnson now. I think maybe that he's just, from all the backlash he got, he doesn't want to wade back into that pool again.
Well, also, does he want to work on somebody else's intellectual property, or does he want to work on his own?
Exactly.
He's got he's got a little franchise going of his own. So, why work for other people?
Yeah, and he's just started a very successful one over on Peacock in Poker Face. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Sorry, my cough is worse than I thought it would be.
I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, but I was happy with you, James. You're gonna have to take over because I'm just gonna keep on coughing.
All right, you're gonna need some honey and hot water. That's what you're gonna need. That really helped me the last week.
It's annoying because I've been fine like for most of the day, and then of course 10 o'clock comes.
Yep.
And you start coughing.
Yep. So I don't know. I just don't want to see more mediocre product coming out. It feels like even though they spend all this time and she announces this stuff so much time ahead, if it all feels the same to me. It's the same conversation we've had with Marvel. Like I saw the trailer for Marvels this week, and it's like, I've seen this movie 3 times already. That's kind of how I feel about Star Wars to a lot.
What is Nick Fury doing on a space station? What is it? Oh, I can't believe I'm blanking on the space station in Star Trek.
Deep Space Nine?
No, not Deep Space Nine. The one on Earth. It's the name of the first freaking episode, Next Generation 2. Farpoint Station. It looks exactly like that.
Oh. It's going to be a crossover. Yeah, screw you, James Gunn.
Patton Oswalt's crossover rant will come true. They'll just add Star Trek in it.
That's true, actually, yeah. But I think you're right, Shaun. I think they're treading over old ground far too much, and there's far too little invention when it comes to Star Wars. Yeah. And I think it's a worrying. For me, it's slightly worrying. I like the fact that they're really kind of in the TV space. They really seem to be focusing on Thrawn in the future. I think he's a pretty good villain. The heir to the Empire thing, I thought that was a bit on the nose, actually saying it in the trailer, in the Ahsoka trailer. But I love Lars Mikkelsen as an actor, and I think he's going to be. I think one of the thing about Star Wars is good Star Wars comes around when they have good villains, and I think Star Wars is more about the antagonists than the heroes. I think they're far more interesting, and I think the last couple of Star Wars projects and movies and TV shows have kind of lacked a really good villain. I like Moff Gideon in the Mandalorian.
Snoke was awesome.
Sorry?
Snoke was awesome. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Snoke had a lot of potential, but yeah, it was cut in half, unfortunately.
It was interesting timing, how they revealed the Thrawn from the trailer, and then I know trying not to spoil episodes or spoilers for the last episode of Mandalorian, but they did mention him, which was nice.
Yeah.
They timed that very well.
Yeah. It's deliberate. It's completely deliberate.
Of course.
And and I'm also pretty sure that's another reason why we got a bit of a call from Lucasfilm telling us to stop being naughty and revealing things too soon. But yeah, it's I was personally very happy about Star Wars Celebration because I was like, finally, after all this time, we're actually starting to see some things come to fruition that we've been talking about for a while. But on a personal level, like non-professional, and a Star Wars fan, I was a bit disappointed, to be quite frank, because I was like, I want to see Star Wars progress as a fan, and I just feel like it's stagnating. And I do think a lot of that is down to leadership. I don't like being nasty, or being not nasty, but being negative about someone like Kathleen Kennedy, who's one of the best Hollywood producers around. But I do think her time has come to an end at Lucasfilm, and I actually think she's probably going to pass the torch on to somebody else after Indiana Jones 5. And my best guess would be that person would be Jon Favreau. Even though he's talked about wanting to stay on as a creative, I just feel like it needs some new blood. And even though Favreau's not I'm not sure about Dave Filoni. I'm really not sure. I think he's too much of a fanboy.
I don't know. Like, Lucas trained him, though. He was like Lucas's son.
Yes, but right there's the problem.
Yes, exactly. Everything that George Lucas did was not fantastic.
Yeah.
No.
All of the stuff that George Lucas did that was good, let's be honest, was when he had someone behind him or next to him, I think it was his wife, telling him to kind of rein it in a bit. And when George Lucas was just let loose, we got the prequel series, which I know people like, but let's be honest, they're not the best movies ever made.
Filoni took the world that Lucas created and he made all those awesome animated shows and expanded upon the lore and really mined the characters and fleshed them out. And now we're seeing that in The Mandalorian. So
you know what the best Star Wars animated show was? It wasn't that. No, no, it wasn't the one that Filoni worked on. It was the Cartoon Network one. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. They kind of, which looked a bit like anime style, and they're very short episodes. And they introduced a bunch of characters. There was a lot of Grievous stuff in them. They were fantastic, but they were they're no longer considered canon. I don't think that those Cartoon Network cartoons, they were brilliant.
I never watched any of the animated stuff because to me and forgive me for saying it all felt like very expensive fan fiction.
This is my whole problem with Filoni. I think a lot of the stuff he does comes off as fan fiction, and even watching the Ahsoka trailer, which I thought looked good, I did get the sense that it looked a bit like a fan-made trailer, just a very high budget one.
Yeah, some of the green screen in that was pretty brutal.
It looks amazing. Yeah, I think it looks really good. But I don't know why, but in the back of my head, I was like, this does look a bit like some of those fan-made things you see on YouTube.
But I think they could go with like Safran and James Gunn. They'll go Filoni and Favreau. And
probably. You know, that would make sense.
Both be creatives and both be producers at the same time. And Shaun, I never watched any of the Clone Wars or the Bad Batch or Rebels or anything like that. Partly because at that time it was on for 3 years or something. When I finally piqued my interest, I don't have time to. How many shows do I need to watch to catch up with all the lore and stuff? And they explain it pretty well in The Mandalorian, so I'm pretty happy with that information.
I blow hot and cold on Mandalorian. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes, you probably heard me say it's like someone just rewrote an episode of Cheyenne from 1964.
Yeah.
Now,
if they did it with the Rifleman. They rewrote it with the Rifleman.
There you go. That, of course, makes the Rifleman makes much more sense. Yeah. Or Sam Peckinpah's excellent series, The Westerner, which nobody knows about.
I think the show has a bit of a lead character problem. I think they kind of they had a story arc for their lead character, and also for Baby Yoda, for Grogu. And I mean, the reports are, I don't know how valid they are, but the reports are that Kathleen Kennedy forced Jon Favreau to make the Book of Boba Fett, and in that series she wanted Din and Grogu to be reunited, and that was never apparently the intention.
Yeah,
the intention was for the two characters to go on their own separate paths, and in the end, kind of phase out Din. Mm-hmm. Whereas I feel like they're kind of stuck with him now, and they're like, we got to do something with him. This season has the lead character has not been Din, it's been Bo-Katan. Mm-hmm. She's been the lead character in this show. Very, very well played by Katie Sackhoff. Very interesting character, but I do think that there's an issue there with. I mean, you've got a star as famous as Pedro Pascal. He's had his helmet on the whole season. I don't think he did anything for this season apart from doing some voiceover work, and I also think they're reusing some of his voiceovers from previous seasons in some of the episodes. I'm actually 99% convinced that they're reusing some stuff that he recorded for the first and second seasons. Because I mean, again, that's the other rumor is that him and he does not get on with Kathleen Kennedy. That he wanted to do more. This again goes back to a long time ago to Grace Randolph, and she was kind of ridiculed at the time. But there are new reports coming out that actually it was the case that Pedro Pascal wanted to be out of the mask more, and Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Kathleen Kennedy pushed him not to do that. which means that you got to use him. You get to use him less, basically, and you pay him less, I suppose.
It doesn't matter
but-
though. I mean, the Mando.
No, it doesn't matter.
Like,
It doesn't
Mando
matter.
is just Din Djarin is just he's wearing the helmet now forever.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless something else happens. But
Well,
going back to your main point, like I don't mind the fact that the focus goes on different characters. I really like the Bo-Katan story, and as long as it's not like a character like Jar Jar Binks or something, and we get like 3 episodes of Jar Jar Binks, I'm okay with that.
Right, but the thrust of this season was him becoming a Mandalorian again, and it seems like that was a big deal. Like, oh, we're done with that. Now we're going to go on Bo-Katan's story. I don't mind having sort of like a Cypher as a lead character that takes you around into different stories. It's sort of like a trope for TV shows. I just think the whole show feels like a bad throwback to 60s and 70s television, and not really taking advantage of the serialized form to tell a bigger story.
Well, I don't think his journey ended when he became a Mandalorian again, and he bathed in the minds of Mandalore. I think, like he said, I don't know. You have to watch the latest episode. We can talk about it next week or whatever. But
Yeah,
like he's still got a purpose, and I like how they've kind of shied away from the Jedi stuff for now. Even though, like, no spoilers, someone mentioned the Jedi in the latest episode, and Grogu's reaction to that was priceless. I had to rewind it. His facial expression was great. But I like to focus on Bo-Katan, and I see shades of Andor in this season of Mandalorian now, especially with the spies. A lot of people gave that episode flack when they introduced the spies. I really like that. Yeah, but again, the episode with the robots, it wasn't necessary for me.
The episode with the robots was necessary, but the whole little subplot about the New Republic is sort of indoctrinating people. Don't worry, we don't use it as bad as the Empire does. That sort of shit is fascinating to me, and I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah. Well, watch the next episode.
Okay. All right. I have to make time, but I will.
yeah. I think Star Wars is in a bit of a weird place right now. Let's see what happens. The finale for The Mandalorian is next week, and then what do we have? Ahsoka after that. So there's stuff to look forward to. And again, I'm pretty sure the Rey movie is going to be the first film that will officially go into production. That was the film actually that Damon Lindelof was writing and then just left because he said, I can't do this. I can't work it out. It's just too tricky. I'm gonna have to leave it. And then Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight is now writing that, and it'll be directed by one of the directors of Miss Marvel, who I'm forgetting her name right now, but she was at Star Wars Celebration.
And we have Picard on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that yet. I need to get into it.
I am up to date on Picard.
Oh, nice. I was thinking last night before The Mandalorian came out, 'cause I saw the aftertaste of last week's episode, and I was thinking, how weird is it that if you told me last year that I'd be more excited for Picard than The Mandalorian, I would have called you crazy. But now, like, season 3 is just fantastic.
Well, if you told me that at some point there'd be all these Star Trek, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars series, and that I'd be most of them, I would have never believed it.
Well, talking of all that, should we move over to DC and James Gunn, basically giving people a bit of an aneurysm, I think, when he told Empire Magazine that yes, we have been discussing a potential Marvel DC movie crossover. I think everyone's heads exploded, especially a certain section of people on Twitter that have been saying this is going to happen for a long time. But Shaun, I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and if you think that will ever really happen.
What's the point of doing it? Who's going to win from it? Right?
No, nobody.
Yeah. Is Marvel going to make more money by doing a crossover with DC? Is DC, the only one that could win from it really is going to be DC, because they're going to be getting more eyes than they've had recently.
Depends upon when it happens, though. Like it'll be after Phase 6 if it does happen, or what do you think? It'll just be in Secret Wars?
No, I
Right?
don't think. I think Secret
A
Wars
portal,
is.
a
I
portal
think
will
that,
open up and
I
the
think that,
Justice League will come out.
yeah, I think that script's a done deal. But but what? Why? Why would they do it? Why, business wise? Why would they do it? They're both making abysmally expensive movies. That it looks like fewer and fewer people are caring about. There was they're not. I read something. Somebody today said something about this will be another. The Marvels will be another Marvel bomb. And while there have been no Marvel bombs, there's some that haven't done as well as others, but there's still pretty ridiculously profitable movies. So is a DC movie going to kick a Marvel movie over the top and make it more profitable? No, I mean, I can see DC going, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. We want to get on there. Yeah, could you bring Robert Downey Jr. back? Because that'd be great.
Well, it's not. It's not unreasonable to think that they've talked about it, but the logistics there of it happening is like crazy, and the
Right.
budget would be insane. And again, when would they do that? It would be between 5 and 10 years. So I
Right.
think I just think it's like, yeah, they talked about it obviously because the directors are crossing over between the two studios. Of course they're going to talk about it, but would they take it seriously? I don't think so.
One of the directors took over the studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think all he said is it's something we can talk about now. It doesn't say, he didn't say we've been talking about it or we have plans, did he?
No,
I think he said we've discussed it.
yeah,
But he didn't say, and I think he's had to come out and say like, no, since I'm pretty sure he's come out and said that was we were just talking about it, but no plans have been set into place.
Right.
And
Right.
I don't think they ever will be, because for me, I think that it would be incredibly, even though Marvel has worked with Sony Pictures, for instance, on the Spider-Man films,
On one of their own characters.
and one of their own characters, I don't think that Warner Brothers would ever, especially now as they are now, would ever want to foot the bill or put money into something that they won't get a full, they won't be getting full returns out of. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see what the new management's like. I mean,
coming in 2028, Amalgam.
Yeah.
Part 1.
now
Amalgam.
that would be like not a bad idea.
They'd sell a lot of back issues, Amalgam.
Yeah. I said it as a joke when I was talking to Zeus the other day, but I don't think if you're going to do a crossover, that seems like a better idea than or Superman meets Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, we were all really excited about those comics when they came out as a kid, but the stories were kind of disappointing.
Superman meets Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. They did it a lot in the comics. They've done like Marvel and DC crossovers in the comics. I can't really think of any that have been like genuinely memorable. Mainly because the tones are so different. I feel like, especially the way the DC studios now, the DC universe is looking to go. I think it's looking to go a lot more, kind of a lot darker in a weird way, maybe more adult in content. Like, when you're talking about things like the Authority, Swamp Thing, what was the other, Creature Commandos. These are quite heavy properties, and I don't think they would fit very well with the Marvel way of doing things, especially at the moment. Maybe in a couple of years' time, when Marvel finally realizes that they have to make something that's a bit more interesting, challenging.
Well, and like to 90% of the public, does putting DC and Marvel together even mean something? I mean, 90% of the public, people in tights are all the same. They probably think Shazam is a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is like, like James Gunn and Kevin Feige sitting around talking, and maybe James Gunn said, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if we had an ambush bug and Deadpool movie crossover?" And Kevin Feige would be like, "Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that." And then someone asked him about it, and then Gunn says, "Yeah, we discussed it or whatever, of course." But that doesn't mean that there's any slight possibility of it happening.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like the discussion could have been, "Hey, do you ever think we could put a couple of our characters together in a movie?" Sure. How are the clams here?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Deadpool would be an interesting one, though. Deadpool might be a possibility because he could kind of cross over into DC and I don't think anyone really bat an eyelid about that, because I
Yeah.
think he's going to occupy a rather odd space in the MCU anyway.
Right. If you had just Deadpool just walk in and do a cameo in a movie, it would have the same effect as the X-Men appearing at the end of Deadpool 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a Marvel. I mean, there tends to be quite a few, but in Shazam 2, there was a bit of a nod and a wink to Marvel at the end in a post-credit scene.
Oh, really?
And yeah, the mention of the Avengers basically. Yeah. And but apart from, honestly, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think maybe with James Gunn in charge, it's more likely now than it has been in the past. But I just think logistically, I don't think the two companies could really get around it. I think it'd be too complicated.
And with the imagine going to the boards and having to explain, oh, we gave 3 of our most popular characters to a competitor for a movie.
Yeah. It'd be very strange. I think at the moment DC has got to focus on their movies, and Marvel's got to focus on their films, because let's be honest, that neither studio is in the best place right now. if we were talking about post Endgame Marvel, then maybe there was a chance to do something like that, a bit push the boat out a bit, do something a bit weird and wacky. But at the moment, no, I think they just got to get back to making good movies. And you mentioned the Marvels trailer. Apparently, it's the most disliked trailer on YouTube of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
But for all the wrong reasons. Someone's going to be complaining that it's a Middle Eastern woman, a white woman, and a black woman superheroes, and we can't have that. And for me, it's just like, no, this just looks dull and looks like I've seen it 100 times before.
I mean, I don't want to say that, because I really want the film to be good. But there were elements of that trailer that I was a bit like, yeah. But don't judge a movie by its trailer. Let's try and be positive. It's hard.
Yeah, but it's trying to get us into the theater to watch it. And I have no interest after seeing that trailer.
Yeah, that was the same for me. I don't know about you, James.
Sorry, what?
Marvel's trailer.
Away.
I was doing moderating. Sorry, what's going on?
Yeah. Marvel's trailer. How did you feel about it? Does it make you want to see it or not?
It looked fun. There was again, it was just a teaser trailer, not much footage. I know they were waiting, kind of like the whole Thrawn thing, to release that trailer after the Secret Invasion trailer came out last week, which I watched, which I really liked it. But I like the Marvels trailer, and I'm excited to see it. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. If they're going to incorporate a dance scene, that'll be interesting to see.
I think there might be a musical number in it. That's what Lynn was telling me today. She thinks there'll be a musical number in, which there was a musical number in the Eternals movie, wasn't there? With it's like a Bollywood number.
Really?
Yeah, there was. But it made sense in the story, I suppose. It was Kumail Nanjiani's character that was doing a Bollywood film. But they brought, I suppose, in their mind, they're broadening their horizons. The thing is, right, that this movie is directed by Nia DaCosta, who directed it wasn't a reboot of the Candyman, it was kind of like a sequel. Mm-hmm. And that movie was brilliant. And I was really looking forward to this Marvel's movie being a bit different with her in it, but doesn't look like it's going to be.
I don't know. I thought the trailer looked good. I think it'll be fun. When we get another trailer or two, then I can really say, does it look good? Does it look bad? I really liked the Miss Marvel television show. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I liked what they did with that. So, and at the end of that series, when Carol Danvers shows up, I thought that was cool. And then now they're going to be swapping places every time they use their powers. And I'm interested to see the fight between the three of them. I think that will be cool. And I want to know what Nick Fury's doing on
Deep Space Nine,
Farpoint Station. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
And wait, did this comes out after Secret Invasion or before?
Yeah. I think it's after Secret Invasion.
I think it has to be after at this point.
So spoiler: Nick Fury lives through Secret Invasion.
That's a way to spoil your movie, your series. That didn't even cross my mind, because if you watch the Secret Invasion trailer, they're really gearing it up as though Nick Fury's gonna die in this thing. And that's a bit of an own goal, I think, as you'd say in England. Oh dear. Right. Should we go into the comments, see what people are saying? James, Mr. Producer Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I've noticed a couple, if you want to bring them up. So, Greetings from Britain says Dr. Mad Studio. I think that's what DC Studio should be called now. We got Cisco's back saying hi, hope all is well. All is very well, apart from my voice and coughing, that's all.
Make sure everyone heads over to the Small Screen Live channel if you want to chat with the chat. Right now we're broadcasting on both, on the Small Screen main channel, Small Screen Live channel, but I don't think we'll be broadcasting on the main channel much anymore.
Probably
we'll announce that. But yeah, make sure you head on over. The chat is pretty lively on the live.
Do they think we've been naughty too, like Kathleen Kennedy?
I don't know. I'm not well enough for this. Kazakh saying Fury getting scratched again. Yeah, he's going to be completely blind.
Yeah.
That cat, man. That's Danzig, 1979, saying hi. Hello, Danzig. I hope you're well. Yeah. So we just
the Flirking Kittens in the trailer. That's going to be interesting.
Yes, that'll be quite fun. Yeah, look, I remember lots of people getting very excited about that cat, and I'm going to be honest, I had no idea who that cat was. I didn't know the character from the comics. I was just like, oh, it's a cute cat, and I was quite shocked when it turned out to be a horrible alien.
It worked. I mean, it worked as a gag, and I don't know that it's a gag we need to repeat, but it worked really well.
It really reminded me of Drywall from Scud the Disposable Assassin comic book.
Oh, wow. Deep cut.
Oh, I didn't even know if you get that reference, Shaun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I tagged Rob Schrab in the post. I said, how's it feel to have Drywall as a cat in Captain Marvel?
So what does everybody think about HBO going away and calling itself something else in the States? Have you heard that?
Well,
so it's called Max
earlier, but they just announced Harry Potter.
Yeah, they just announced the Harry Potter series. Yeah,
but that was kind of revealed a couple of weeks ago. It's now just officially been confirmed that they have greenlit it. Before, I think they were doing like final contracts, mainly trying to work out how much they're going to pay J.K. Rowling. I think because that's a big thing, and she's on board as a producer. And I think that the HBO is it just called Max?
Yeah.
Now, is it?
Yeah, they're doing away with the HBO name and just going with Max.
Honestly, like, Blind Fury, that would be a good one.
Isn't that the Rutger Hauer movie about the blind assassin?
Yeah. I still haven't watched that. That showed up.
You're not missing anything.
It reminded me of Hard Rain a little bit when I watched the trailer.
Reminded me of Chubby Rain from Bowfinger. Beware the Chubby Rain.
So actually, I want to know. Oh, hi, Danzig being very kind, atting everybody. I wanted to know actually about this HBO Max thing. So now, when you go onto HBO Max in America, is it just called Max?
It hasn't started yet. I don't think. I think they just announced.
It hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
So basically, this means HBO's the kind of whole HBO branding has gone. Is that right?
They're going to be phasing it out, from what I understand.
That's kind of mad because it is quite a strong brand, especially in the United States.
But is it a current brand? I wonder.
Yeah, I suppose because it is. It does come from network television, doesn't it? Home box offices was it?
Yeah.
It
wasn't network. It was the
cable,
first premium tier cable things.
I
get confused with American TV stuff.
They should go back to their
I can give it to you quickly. There was regular broadcast, which was based on radio networks that already exist, and usually the same company.
NBC.
Yeah, CBS, NBC, Mutual, DuPont, and then they died, and then we got ABC, Fox, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then cable came in mostly to service remote areas, places, for instance, that were surrounded by mountains that you couldn't get a good signal from. Then on top of that, they started premium cable, which was HBO, and you had to pay an extra tier for that. And then inside that middle tier, you had guys like Ted Turner going, I own a TV station in Atlanta. Why can't I make it nationwide?
CNN.
Okay.
No, TBS first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listing off his accomplishments.
Yeah.
So then you had other ones come in like Showtime. That was another cable thing, right? Yeah. So basically, all of this means that since the merger, Discovery has basically completely rid themselves of HBO. So HBO Max is gone, which was going to be at the time. Remember, Warner Media were trying to make that their big streaming platform,
right,
by putting everything on it. And now they're taking stuff away from it, licensing stuff to other streamers and other platforms, and just having Max, which is going to be mostly Discovery Plus shows, I suppose, and then a couple of Warner Brothers movies and TV shows.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah. And I wonder, how. Sorry, my white noise machine needs to be plugged in. I was wondering, and did we talk about this the last time we streamed? It's been a while. That I think that might not be a bad idea in a time when nobody knows how well streamers are going to be doing. Nobody knows what the future is, but everybody knows that they're going to need content.
You didn't talk about that. I think that's probably, you spoke about it on another show.
No, I did not. No, I did. That's far too deep for Zeus. Sorry, Zeus. No, but we just don't talk about business that much. But it seems to me like it's not a bad business decision to go, oh, we're going to just make stuff that these other guys can put on, let them fight it out, and then our business model won't be hurt at the end.
That might be what they're planning. I mean, for me, it's more like I was actually looking forward to the actual streaming platform coming to the UK. Maybe that might happen now. Maybe this might make it easier. Actually, I don't know what the legal ramifications would be around that, but it's an interesting venture. Let's see what happens with it. I'm pretty sure
Dancing has some info on that.
They also said, okay, there you go. That's exactly what answering my question. They also said Max is coming to Europe in 2024. So they must have. I think that's right. I think it was 2024 when all their contracts with the likes of Sky, which is a Comcast company. So it was actually with Comcast, and those contracts have probably run out. So maybe they can now put this streaming platform worldwide, which would be good. Should be a way forward. Hopefully, more people actually watch their shows.
I like the utter disdain with which Edward says that. It's like, way forward for the assholes.
I don't know. I just go on, James.
Go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say. I'm so I've got so much brain fog going on right now.
Did you see the Continental teaser I sent you?
Yes, I did, and it looks very flashy, very very stylish. I was talking to my brother today because he likes to call me and say nothing good comes out anymore. And then I have to go, yeah, well, John Wick 4 was good.
Yeah.
And he's like, we were talking about John Wick, and he was talking about how that those movies are he was saying that something really interesting, saying that a lot of comic book movies, one of the problems he has with them is he can never understand what's going on and who's fighting who. And he actually said he thinks that this started with the
James
with the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Saying that those movies started it made it very difficult for people to understand who was fighting who. And now I can't really remember off the top of my head if that was the case in those films. When I remember watching it, all I remember is them being very dark.
Yeah. And the fight choreography Christopher Nolan's not really known for his fight choreography.
Yeah, the fight choreography is terrible. And then Robert was talking about other movies coming along, like The Raids, which are harking back more to Hong Kong. Hong Kong cinema, kung fu movies, and this is very much what John Wick did as well. It harkened back to those movies, those Bruce Lee movies, big time. Yeah. And bringing in Donnie Yen was an example of that. In the
Sammo Hung from SBL,
yes,
one of my favorite movies. Yeah,
exactly. And this Continental series, I'm actually very interested in it because I think it's going to be a step back from all of that. And I think it's going to be a bit more probably like a spy kind of thriller type thing. There will obviously be
a lot more shoot 'em up though. Kind of like the movie Shoot 'em Up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a 90s action film or something, more so than Hong Kong cinema.
Sorry, I had to walk out. I apologize.
Yeah. And there was huge warriors in John Wick, Raj. And I loved that. I absolutely I got so giddy when the woman was talking on the microphone and saying pretty much everything like the Warriors. I just love that. And I know everyone says like Scott Adkins was brilliant. Yeah, he was great. That's the first time that him acting actually appealed to me. Like I tried to
I was gonna say the same thing.
And I was like, no, he's never to me has been a good actor. But John Wick 4, he was, and I think it's because he had the suit on and the makeup, but also he was having a lot of fun with the role.
You know what I think it is with Scott, because I've always been the same about Scott Adkins. I was like, he's a very good fighter, but a very bad actor.
He could be a good supporting character.
But watching him in John Wick 4, I was like, I think Chad Stahelski, I had to remember how to pronounce that name for the John Wick review that's coming out. But I was like, I think he figured it out. Just have him do an accent. Make him German, and then he'll be good. And he's there. And honestly, that scene with him where he's like, he wants to kill you. You want to kill him. I want to kill you. What are we going to do about it? And I just was like, he delivered it very well. And I really like, I actually had to go and look because I was like, is it him? I'm not sure if it's him, but I think it is. And I was quite surprised when I found out that it was him.
I didn't realize it was him until after the movie. I said, who is this actor?
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of Scott Adkins. So, Danzig says, please don't remake The Warriors. I kind of had a Twitter exchange with Robert Meyer Burnett last night about this. Apparently, Tony Scott was looking to remake it.
Yeah, I thought somebody had announced they were going to remake it.
And then the Russo brothers in 2016 said they were making a television series on it. We haven't heard anything since then. So I'm happy. They should not remake The Warriors at all. And Raj, definitely a Cyrus vibe from The Warriors. I always got that from Lawrence Fishburne in the John Wick movies, big time. That was a big influence, I think. But the question I had about the Continental, excuse me, when did they shoot this? I heard nothing about this when it was being shot.
Oh, I heard they were making it, but I had no idea they were this far along.
I heard it was in pre-production, but I didn't know that they had enough for a teaser trailer. And with that being said, I lost my train of thought because I just saw there was a Penguin teaser trailer that just came out 3 hours ago. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with this. Whatever.
Well, my question about the Continental is, isn't Christopher Walken too old to be playing that character anymore? That's all I can think of when anybody says the Continental.
No,
I have some fine champagne.
Yeah, he uses cue cards. He'll be fine. He doesn't memorize scripts anymore.
No,
but I also I like how it takes place in the 70s. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 3-part series.
Yeah,
it's not
90 minutes each episode.
So that's a good sign as well. Like basically 3 movies.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's what they're doing with this franchise is actually really fascinating because they've been. I think I remember writing actually an article about the Continental show wrapping, and I think it wrapped a couple of months ago. I think. But they're also doing the ballerina movie with Ana de Armas.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, that's coming out next year, 2024. So they've got a lot of stuff going. Yeah, Mel Gibson's in the Continental as well. He's in this show. So they haven't actually shown his character. No, he's in it. He's in it.
Wow.
So the plot is it's the New York Continental. So it's going to be Ian McShane's character and Lance Reddick's character from the movies back in the 70s when they're kind of setting it up, the New York Continental. So I think it's going to be interesting. And people in the chat are going on about Scott Adkins. Apparently he was in Hollyoaks. Didn't know that. And apparently he was in my favorite show, EastEnders. Of course he was.
Oh.
He would have fit right, but not in Coronation Street. No, probably not.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. I could imagine him in EastEnders. I'm a big old man. Yeah, he fit right in.
Oh my god, I thought Ray Winstone just joined the stream.
Yeah. Ray Winston, I don't think he ever turned up in EastEnders. Probably would have fit in quite well as well. The one accent he can do, his own. But yeah, that's the thing. This is the thing that came up into my head. I was like, oh, Scott Adkins, he is an actor that's able to act make him do a different accent. And I even looked into whether he actually had some German heritage, because his German accent is bloody good. But no, he doesn't. He's just doing it. He's just being a very good actor. So I take everything back I said in the past about. Yes, I think so too.
I still got brain fog from COVID. What's his name? Dave Bautista. I think he needs to take that route.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Dave Bautista's turned into a really good character actor.
He's a very good character actor. Yeah. But this is the thing about these John Wick films that I think is also quite interesting, is that Chad Stahelski is able to. I mean, he came from this background of being a stuntman. Worked on the Matrix movies, but he's also able to find actors that are actually able to deliver these interesting performances in what is fundamentally a kung fu movie, like really. But like the I can't remember her name, but the girl, the Japanese daughter, the daughter of the Continental Osaka owner, she's actually. That was the first time she ever acted in anything that wasn't a music video. So she's actually a musician, and she's only ever acted in music videos. And Chad Stahelski was watching one of her music videos and just contacted her and said, "I think you'd be great for this part." I think he's a really interesting director. Actually, the more I look at him, and the more I see how he and Keanu Reeves have worked on this franchise, the movies have just got better and better as they've gone on. Although I do think that Chapter 2 is the least strong out of all the films. I think
it was still good.
It's still good.
But yeah, like Chad Stahelski's influences, it's just like a great melting pot for entertainment.
Yeah,
everything I like.
And
I hope they make a John Wick 5.
I think they're really clever movies based on a pretty simple premise, but taking it to the nth degree and just pushing this so far that it becomes fascinating. And I was in a meeting actually yesterday with somebody who was like, this was just killing it. It was just stupid. And I'm like, you're kind of missing the point.
Yeah.
Just wait till we get John Wick in space.
That'll be stupid.
That'll be dumb. But that's the thing. They've managed to kind of ramp up the action and the spectacle without going too kind of Fast and Furious bonkers,
right?
If you know what I mean,
right?
I think they've done it. They've done it very well, and I think they're very clever with how they've. And also, the other thing is, if you see the timeline of the span of these 4 movies is supposed to take, I think it's like over not even a week.
Right.
It's like a ridiculous amount of time from John Wick 1 to 4, which I find also very amusing.
Yeah, I think they're it's not all right. We're doing something. We're not doing Shakespeare. We're not doing something literary, but we're going to push that so far that it literally becomes art in the process.
Yeah. And it was the answer I had to my brother of that nothing really good has come out recently, and I said John Wick 4 actually is a pretty good one, and he's a big horror fan, so of course he'll go on about the Terrifier movies and saying Terrifier 2 is one of the best films to have come out the last 10 years.
Yeah, but everyone who says nothing good comes out, they're just watching Hollywood films. Tons of good films have come out from South Korea, Australia. I've said this before, China, Japan. There's tons of great films out there, but the focus is, when they say that, it's just on Hollywood. But you got to look outside of that to see what is really elevating the film genre.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say look outside Hollywood, but just look outside of studio films. I mean, studio films have become just about pleasing stockholders at this point. If something good comes out, as much as I dislike it, well, let's not put it this way, not dislike, but as much as I was not impressed with The Batman, I'm pretty fucking impressed they got that made inside of a studio system.
Yeah. They pictured as Batman walking, right?
Mm-hmm. Strolling. Batman strolling.
Batman stroller.
Vin Diesel as the peacemaker. The pacifier, sorry.
That's right.
It's all about family. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the pacifier peacemaker crossover.
Oh, God. Oh, dear.
And then the Tooth Fairy. For the third
one.
Oh, God, we didn't talk about that, did we? Talking of the Tooth Fairy. What's his face? The Rock. Moana.
Dwayne Johnson live action Moana.
Oh, my God. I want him to stop. I want him to go away. I want him to fuck off. Honestly, I am so done with that man. I think I've come to the conclusion, now this is going to be a rant, I've come to the conclusion that he's a talentless sack of shit. And I know this might be the fact that I'm ill and I'm pissed off, but oh my God, he hasn't made a good movie in a long time. And I know that, James, you like Black Adam, and I thought Black Adam was okay, but he really fucked over a lot of people to get that movie made. Yeah. And the more I think about it, the more I think he's such an egotistical maniac.
Well, the more,
and this Moana thing is just makes me annoyed.
Is Black Adam the hill you want to die on for your career? I mean, it seems sort of muddled and a mess, and that's what he's been fighting to get made. What John Huston couldn't get the Man Who Would Be King made with Clark Gable and Humphrey Bogart in it, but Dwayne Johnson could get this Black Adam made. I think he's a good actor. I think he's a really good actor, but I think he's just refused to do that in the past 15 years since Pain and Gain. How long ago was Pain and Gain?
He's more in producer mode, though.
The more I think about it, the more I don't think he's a good actor. I don't know. It's like, I know people keep on saying that about him, but I still have yet to see the proof.
The Rundown. Yeah, this Pain and Gain.
No, okay. I watched Pain and Gain the other day. It was excruciating for me. That movie is excruciating.
I withdraw my offer of marriage, sir.
But then again, I think it's more the culture it's trying to kind of. I felt like the movie was there was something a kind of a nasty undertone to that film that I didn't like, and that might be also my dislike of Michael Bay. I don't know, but I will say that I did think that he worked very well in that role. And Mark Wahlberg also, very, very solid performances in that movie. And it's actually Michael Bay's least Michael Bay movie, if that makes any sense.
That's one of the things I loved about it. It was like, how did he make this?
But I need to watch it again, because I watched it when I was sick in London, and I actually think I did have COVID, even though I didn't have a COVID test, and I was all over the place. So maybe I do need to rewatch that film. But it was also very long. I just remember it being very long and not ending, which is a problem I have with Michael Bay films. But going back to the Moana thing. I know people like him. I know people have respect for The Rock, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, he is all he gives. All he cares about is
for this live action Moana.
Well,
Did we not
because
expect this? We
honestly,
got live action Aladdin. We got live action
yes,
of The Mermaid.
okay, yes, but these first of all, these films, I don't think these films should have been made. I don't think Little Mermaid should have ever been made. I can't speak. I don't think Aladdin. I don't think Aladdin should have been made. Although I will
The
say,
Lion King.
get the Lion King. I thought was just watch the animated movie. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Don't watch the live action version. What I will say about the Aladdin film was they changed it enough and got an interesting director to come in and make it kind of his own in Guy Ritchie. That actually, that one to me was the least kind of egregious.
You say they shouldn't make them, but you watch them. I haven't watched any of them. I have no interest in watching the live action remakes.
I have no interest either, but I think Edward needs to watch them.
No, he doesn't.
Well, I was invited to all the screenings, and I did have to review it was Aladdin I reviewed, but the other ones I did.
I'll give you a pass, but we can't be mad at Dwayne Johnson because Disney's making a live action Moana, and they're gonna make it without him.
No. I don't think this film would have been made without The Rock. I actually don't think he would have let it get made without him.
I kind of agree with that. I think he would have put up a big stink. I also, I'm also like, why are we just remaking the same movie with live action? What's the point of that? But at least the others waited till the corpse was cold.
Exactly.
Moana's still warm.
Yeah. It's like going out and making a Frozen live action movie now, which I'm pretty sure is the next thing they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, and it's the whole system. Like, I've just been getting more and more pissed off with it. It's like Disney hasn't made an original live action movie in a long time. Like, I can't even remember what was the last one they made? Was that Chris Pine one? I think when he's on a boat. I can't even remember what it was, but
it was called Chris Pine on a boat. It
was called Chris Pine on a boat. Yeah, it didn't do very well. But I just, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, both of them can just sod off. Like The Rock can piss off and Disney can piss off, because it's just clear, like a clear money grabbing technique. And of course The Rock's going to get his $1 million for promoting. Really? Yeah, well,
really?
there was a
technique.
Yeah, but there was a time when Disney actually made movies for the art of making films.
Yeah,
like
decades ago.
It was decades ago.
Anything from the 80s wasn't a cash grab.
Well, Little Mermaid was kind of a risk in terms of money. That was to 89, 90.
Yeah, but now we're getting into classical animation. That's different than
Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast was a pretty big risk as well.
We're getting into classical animation. We're talking live action here.
Yeah, well, the live action Disney movies, let's be honest, they've never been great. Like they've never.
It's hard to keep them straight because they had so many brands. They had Hollywood Pictures, they had Touchstone, and they had something else going all at the same time. Those were all. I mean, Touchstone was originally so that they could make PG-13 movies and not hurt the Disney brand.
And they bought Miramax too afterwards.
Yeah.
And they folded that. So.
You know, the other thing about this Moana live action movie that's annoying me? I know who's going to direct it. It's going to be that John Collette Sarah guy that made Black Adam, that made Jungle Cruise, that made like literally the most boring movies ever made. It's going to be him because he works with The Rock all the time.
Yeah, $7.
And I'm just done with him. I'm like, I don't care anymore. I just don't. I was kind of like hoping that Black Adam would be better than it was, and I did go into it not expecting much, and I came out of it being like, okay, that was fine. But for me, like the way he talks and the way he goes on about himself, I'm like, you need to do something different if you really want people to take you seriously.
Yeah,
you need to go back to the drawing board. And the Moana thing, I was like, what is this? I actually thought at first that it was an April Fool's because it was pretty soon after it was not too far from the 1st of April. So I was watching it, I was like, is this an April Fool's? This sounds like an April Fool's, but it wasn't. And
that would be, I would be much happier were it an April Fool's thing.
Me too.
See, Dwayne Johnson, I like Dwayne Johnson pre-Skyscraper. You know.
Oh, that movie was awful.
Yeah.
That movie was just
that. But now it just seems that he's more got the producer hat on and he just wants to make big tentpole films to get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And, like Stallone went through this and Schwarzenegger went through this.
Yeah, he's trying to get as much money as he can, and it's kind of gets to the point to where to quote Tom Hanks, like, how much better steak can you eat? Like, what are you going to do with all this? Because his producing chops have been Black Adam and stuff like that, and then Young Rock on TV. Has he produced anything besides that?
The Jungle Cruise movie, I think he produced.
Skyscraper he produced.
Skyscraper he produced.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just a bit fed up with all of that. Like, I just think it's so obvious what they're doing, and there's no need for any of these films. I don't think. The more I watched the trailer in the cinema when I was at the cinema last time, I was watching the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and there was the trailer for the Little Mermaid live action film, and I was like, this looks awful. Like, I was like, what's the point? There's only really one character in it that's live action, or two, if you count, like, in the underwater scenes, if you count Javier Bardem. But the rest are just animated. So I was like, what's the point? Just watch the amazing animated movie.
Yeah.
And I think people are getting upset for that movie for the wrong reasons as well. I think, like, the whole casting a black woman in it, people getting upset about that. I was like, that doesn't matter. The thing that matters is that this film shouldn't really be a thing.
It's just loud people on Twitter, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't represent the whole world.
Yeah, but still, it really, there's no need for it. It's just, I mean, when you got to the Lion King one, to me, was just the height of ridiculousness, idiocracy, because it's just, we're going to make a live action Lion King, which means we're going to CGI fur instead of just doing hand-drawn animation.
Or getting David Attenborough with a camera.
Yeah.
Did he actually do it in that movie?
Pardon me?
Did David Attenborough do a cameo in that movie?
I don't know. No. I've never seen it.
I would have been willing to see it if he had.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. That would have been quite funny, actually.
I always wondered about
narrating it.
I always wondered about David Attenborough's mother talking to the neighbor. How are your sons doing? Well, I was talking to Sir Richard and Sir David when they were over for dinner the other day.
Yeah, but that's David Attenborough's mom lives next to Carl Sagan's mom.
Yep, but she's got Richard Attenborough too. So that's my next sitcom pitch. My Two Nights.
That's a good one. And this is basically what the studio system is doing in the last couple decades. It's safe investments with sequels or existing properties. Yeah,
it's lessen risk by going with a known property. But the thing is that nobody in the history of show business has succeeded for a long time by lessening risk. And I think the Little Mermaid sort of underperforming, I think, is people are kind of going, they're just grabbing for cash now. I think people are starting to get hip to it.
You know what's interesting about that? We were talking about the John Wick franchise and how that's come along such a long way. It's making a bucket load of money now. The original movie, the first movie, almost didn't get released. Came very close to just being cancelled at the beginning because the studio just didn't think it was going to do very well. And to see how far that's come along now, it's like the more you think about it, the more you're like, well, it's kind of a mini miracle that we get like something like John Wick,
or Deadpool.
or Deadpool. Yeah, even that film. Yeah, it was that film wasn't going to get made.
No,
and if it wasn't for, pretty sure it was Ryan Reynolds that leaked it, the test footage. Yeah. But I'm sorry about my Dwayne The Rock Johnson rants. I know a lot of people like him. I'm just I'm over him now. And I think that Moana announcement thing was the thing that really, because I was like, using your kids to make yourself like to get some sympathy or some, just some extra points.
He's just copying Will and Jada.
Honestly, I was like, it's just so. I was just like, ugh, it made me it made me throw up a little bit.
Not every day is take your child to work day.
Yeah.
Will and Dwayne.
And it's like take your child to work day by taking them on a private jet, get them over to Hawaii, or whatever, and then shoot a video. It's like, all right, honestly.
What about the big Kamehameha project he was supposed to be doing? What happened to that?
Good. There was another one as well, wasn't there? There was a comic book. Wasn't it another comic book project he wanted to do as well?
Doc Savage.
Doc Savage.
That's Pulp Magazine. Yeah, Shane Black. That was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's in limbo right now.
Yeah, but Doc Savage will always be in limbo. He'll be on my wall and be in limbo.
When he got up earlier, I saw the picture. I was like, yes, I haven't seen that in a while.
There's 2.
Oh, nice.
But Kamehameha, the biography of the Hawaiian king, was supposed to be one of his passion projects, and that nobody's talked about that.
Because Skyscraper 2 will make more money, so he'll probably do that.
It's
Die Hard
won't do well in the Chinese market.
It's Dwayne Johnson's Die Hard, with a big mirror room at the end of it, just because they needed a big set piece.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Shaun, have you ever heard of the actor, writer, director, producer Stephen Chase?
No, I don't think so. No.
I kind of went down a rabbit hole when I was sick the last couple of weeks, and I found this guy. Can I take you guys on a quick journey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we here? Okay, so this is Stephen Chase. I love this in his his bio. It says something. Where is it? Yeah. Studying film in New York University, Stephen developed a true calling for the industry. Where is it? He's tried to pattern his career after Sylvester Stallone, eventually developing a true calling for the industry. So there's this film called Garlic and Gunpowder. Let me make sure that I set the audio. And
I just want to have a picture on the small screen website where I'm like,
yeah. We'll have to do that. We'll have to.
All 3 of us should get it like in the same position.
Yeah.
Now, Michael Madsen is in this.
Oh God,
Fox is in this. What's his name? From Karate Kid. Not Karl Rove. Is that his name? Anyways, Michael Madsen plays a janitor in the FBI building, and he's got like 3 scenes of him just laughing at Emo Phillips' ex-wife,
Judy Tenuta.
Yeah.
NASA and the White House took to the airwaves and the internet last night to assure the world that Earth will be spared from the approaching comet.
A number of the richest people are moving their stuff out of the city because of this comet. So Ma is planning on that comet passing us, then hitting that convoy before Ling Ling does.
All that money, no escort. Bev is right. It's free money.
Can you pull it off?
Pull off what?
Jacking the convoy!
We got a clown and a porn star's wingman.
This guy has a problem with his neck.
I want
The convoy! I think these feds want him too.
No one's gonna miss $1 million or $2 million.
Oh, Martin Cove.
Growl it!
Yeah.
If this comet hits, the survivors gonna need what we got.
You really think so?
We have a serious public relations situation.
Oh, mamma mia.
Hey.
The body count rises as the bloody turf war rages on.
I don't drink, but I should.
It's like they
Man, Nostradamus predicted this, man. I saw it on the historical channel.
wow.
I
Okay,
didn't understand any of that.
so I watched this and I was hoping it would be as bad as a Neil Breen movie. So nice name drop there, Kaz. That's what I was thinking. But it is just yeah, it's bad.
Wow. I was afraid I made a vanity project, but I got nothing on Mr. Tie Straightener here.
You want to see a vanity project? Okay, so this is his latest one.
Are you going to make me watch? What did I do to you? We haven't seen each other in weeks. You're going to make me watch another one?
Told you I felt help to grab it. Always worth the talk right
Who's that?
21!
I just don't want to be married.
Mr. Steinman! What, you got a twin fetish?
Life is great, Joey.
May I present Mr. Boris Zakharchenko?
Have you heard of Casino Moscow?
My good luck. Could make for a big win. What do you say? I lost everything. Joey.
The money you have right now in your pocket is all you have.
Hey, what's going on here?
You took a bullet for some girl you don't even know. You gotta find your soulmate, your one true love.
Jesus.
Open your eyes, Stan.
I feel better now.
If fate hadn't brought you into that store, what could have happened to me?
Eating ice cream.
We are having a wedding, and that is that.
Stan's getting married. Wait, what? The man that I love is getting married to someone else.
I know now that we were meant to spend the rest of our lives together.
I mean, something led you to
You, me, and my toupee.
I thank God every day you survived that shooting.
Stand the man. How does he get these films made?
He makes them himself, I think.
Yeah, but that's some money. I mean, Martin Cove works cheap, but you still have to pay him.
Producer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies. 2021, 6.
This guy's obviously got money to burn.
I think he'd done some stand up in Las Vegas or something. But the thing is, like, okay, how do they get Karl Rove? Sorry, what was his name, Sean?
Martin Cove. You call him.
Rove. Karl Rove. They got Martin Rove.
Cove, Kove.
Okay, Martin Cove.
I used to do yoga with his wife.
Oh, okay. And
for real, I'm not kidding.
Michael Madsen, yeah, he's been in a lot of bad films, but the scenes he was in, or he's just mopping the floor, laughing at someone. It's
well, that's how you get him. You pay is probably like 1-2 days work. Tiffany Shepis used to be a scream queen.
Yeah, she's got her own following still. Yeah, she's pretty big in that.
Lainey Kazan. Lainey Kazan was a huge star. She got nominated for Academy Award for My Favorite Year.
Yep.
But these are people who don't work.
Yeah.
All
Dean
the time.
McDermott, Canadian actor. He tried to do a series about acting, returning to Canada. Who's he married? He's married to someone.
Oh God, you're really going down a rabbit hole.
I did.
Did you hear
he's
that?
Married to Tori Spelling.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Tori Spelling, Aaron Spelling's daughter, most successful television producer in history.
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels, all that 80s and 90s jiggle stuff.
The thing I saw recently was that Michael Flatley, the Lord of the Dance, made a movie. If you can find that trailer, it is hilarious. That trailer, apparently the movie's awful. He made it all with his own money, and I remember he won the award for Best Actor at the Monaco Film Festival. And I think he was the only entry. No one really understands how he won that award. No one's ever heard of this Monaco Film Festival before.
I've got a Best Actor one back there, and I have no fucking idea how I won that.
No, this honestly, if you watch the trailer for that movie, I can't remember what it's called, but it came out. I think it was filmed before the pandemic, but only just came out. It's terrible, really bad.
Garlic and Gunpowder it seems like they tried to make a bad movie so it would get notarized as a bad movie that's good, but they were aware of it. So I want to.
There's only one
research.
There's only one person that's the king of doing that, and that's Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah,
and Neil Breen. Yeah, he's got a new shark movie coming out.
Yeah.
So bad that they're good.
Neil Breen.
Yeah, have you seen any of Neil Breen's stuff, Shaun?
No, but I will now.
No, yeah. Well, we should do it together though. We should do it together on a StreamYard call. I'm serious.
Fateful Findings, Twisted Pair.
Yeah,
Twisted Pair was what something happened when you got caught by one of the seniors in the football team.
We'll go down a rabbit hole now.
Okay, boys.
Is this the new one?
Yeah, I haven't seen this yet.
You two. What's your name?
Oh my god, he's really going for it.
Good, quick, fight. Ready? Go.
Okay, so we got a boxing match. What's that have to do with the shark? It's not even 3D text, it's just PNG layers. What? The shark went in the boxing ring. Did you see that?
It's also the same font as the room.
Just tell me why those screaming.
Oh, they did it twice.
Yeah, they did it twice.
Copyright 2019 to 22. This has been working on for some time.
I tried to watch his neighbor's web series, and it was just bad. But his video game series was good.
Yeah. It just reminds me of my favorite internet joke currently is that a shark can swim faster than I can, but I can run faster than a shark. So it's all going to come down to the bicycle and the triathlon.
That's a very good joke.
I wish I'd written that.
I'll be right back.
And yeah, Danzig's right that the movie that Michael Flatley wrote, directed, and produced was Blackbird.
Ooh,
that was the movie. Yeah. Yeah, the Lord of the Dance, Michael Flatley, stars in Blackbird.
There's that other Blackbird with Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton, yeah. Even the name, even the name is stolen.
Next, we're going to find out he's not really Irish. He's Welsh.
Well, he doesn't sound Irish. He sounds American.
Does he?
Michael Flatley. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's lived there for so long.
Irish dancing's a big deal here. I mean, people still have their kids do it.
I do not get it. I'm like, what? It looks so stupid. And this is probably going to stop me from getting my Irish citizenship now. But yeah, it doesn't look good.
Well, because of my mixed heritage, I tried it once, and all I did was make it rain. So,
yeah, very good. Yeah. Oh, right. Well, I think I'm gonna have to call it a night because my voice is going. But James,
I hope you feel better.
I feel fine. It's just the voice and the coughing. I think James has gone down his rabbit hole and he's not come out.
he's found another writer director.
Yeah.
Ask us anything while we're waiting for James.
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, you're here. Okay.
I think we should do for our Patreons. We should do a closed live stream, or just have them join StreamYard so they can watch. And we should do a Neil Breen movie once a week if you have time, Shaun.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. We need to. I've got that rant we need to record sometime too.
Yeah, now that you're back, yeah, and I'm back.
I'm really mad about some of the stuff going on at DC, and I think there's a certain creator that's being overlooked.
Okay, I'm down for that. But yeah, I think we should do the watch party for Neil Breen. I have all of them on DVD, so yeah.
Maybe not every week, but maybe pick one and see how it goes.
Yeah, okay, we'll do one first and see how.
Okay.
See if your heart can last. So
sounds good.
I've got a stent now. I've got a thing in my wallet that says I've got a stent. So.
All right. I'm gonna have to go to bed. But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Shaun. Thank you, James.
Thanks, everybody. Please feel better, Edward.
That's Edward. You're not gonna play us off.
Well, what do I do?
It's
been so.
Hello. You want to play us off, Edward?
What do I do? You can follow us at Small Screen Co. Where can you follow you, Shaun? I don't know. It's been so long.
Like button.
There we go.
I'm twinight.com and Cheap Jack Shakes on social media.
This is why he wanted to do this. He wanted to bring in the music.
I gotta play you off.
I would like to thank my manager.
I'd like to thank Dwayne The Rock Johnson for all he's done for us. I very much look forward to Moana.
I'd like to thank my tequila company for footing the bill. Oh god!
So yes, you can find us at Small Screen Co on YouTube and also at Small Screen Live. We're broadcasting on both right now, but pretty soon we'll just be broadcasting at Small Screen Live.
I think we've been saying that for the last 4 months now.
Seems like that.
Yeah. All right,
you
guys.
can follow Small Screen on Twitter at Small Screen Co. And you can follow Shaun where? Where can we find you?
Cheap Jack Shakes on Twitter and Instagram and twinight.com.
And
another festival. Got into another festival.
Oh,
just hit
another festival.
Yeah.
Well done.
Any details?
Bali.
Ooh,
interesting.
I don't know if I'll be going to that one.
Yeah,
I think you should.
Well, my ex-wife's family's from there, so
yeah. Okay.
I'd like to thank the milk we put in our cereals. And hit that like button, please, if you enjoyed the stream.
And Edward's hair is on point, according to Dan too.
Yeah,
Dan always loves Edward's hair.
Yeah, he's a stan of my hair.
Edward.
Oh dear, I wish I'd never sent you that. That was so stupid of me. That was another brain fog sick moment in my life that I would like to forget about. And James is never going to let me forget about it.
I'm surprised he's still up here. So.
Yeah. Right, guys, let's end it. Let's end it now.
Thanks,
We've ended
everybody.
it about 7 times. Thank
I don't usually drink coffee before I go out on patrol. I mean, this suits a motherfucker to get off when you have to pee, and then there's my hands. You know, you spend 30 years punching people and take collagen. That's supposed to be good for your joints.
It was exciting at first. You don't realize what's happening to you.
Switched to carbon fiber a few years ago. Otherwise.
What's he wearing, that bodysuit thing? He always looked so hot in that.
I could have killed him, but no. The mask. I had to see what he was hiding.
This doesn't do shit to hide your identity. Fuck you, Zorro.
The plan that took him down was pretty simple.
I didn't think it was fair, really.
I thought he had a gun.
He couldn't think it through.
Twilight? Well, the name just came to me. It's I was going to be out mostly at night, and I wanted to be a night, night with a K. And night just sounded like something your mom says to you when she puts you to bed.
Thank you, guys.